Well, good afternoon and welcome to 2025's first public meeting of the Stephenville Town Council. It is January the 9th and the time is 12:07 p.m. I'd like to welcome 16 attendees that have logged on for our first 2025 public meeting. I'd like to recognize our members of management. We have full council here today. And I must say, it appears like you guys got your sleeves rolled up and ready to go to work for the great citizens of the town of Stephenville for 2025. Also like to recognize we have some guests in our chambers here. Welcome, Brian and Laura. And so I'll ask, before I ask for the approval of the agenda, I'll do our land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the town of Stephenville as the ancestral homeland. Different populations of indigenous people. We also acknowledge with respect the rich histories and cultures of the Beothuk, the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. We have the agenda. It's resolved to approve the agenda January 9, 2025 is presented. I would ask a member of council to move. Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, second. Councilor Tom O'Brien, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry. Do I ever hear well? Just let the public know too that I have first day in the job. I'm liking it.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, they're so good. Like I could always hear the birds chirping, but now I can hear them a little bit more. But when I was walking up on my farm, you know the bulls underneath the sods? I could swear I could hear them. That's how good they are.
They must be. I don't want to set this.
Approval of the minutes.
Item number 4, approval of the minutes. Be resolved to approve our public meeting of council minutes dated December 19, 2024. I would ask a member of council to move.
So
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Ballard, second by Councilor Myra White. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Any matters arising from those minutes? Matters. Item number 6, proclamations and delegations. We're early in the year, but nothing yet. Okay, for committee reports, we have a very light agenda, only 2 items, but we're going to defer those 2 items in our finance committee. There are new procedures coming down through municipal affairs on how our planning and public meetings need to be public meetings. Our first one didn't get time to be advertised, so we'll just defer these 2 items until our next public meeting to be brought to the public meeting. But I also have a message, I guess, that I need to read out. So Happy New Year, everybody, members of council, management, and for our 22 attendees that are listening. As we begin 2025, I am pleased to inform you that new legislation for municipalities and local service districts took effect on January 1st, a few days ago. One key change is that committee meetings are now open to the public, just like a public meeting, an exciting step forward in making municipalities more transparent and accessible. Our regular finance committee meetings will take place every Monday at 12 p.m. prior to public meetings of the same week. The planning meetings will be held every Tuesday at 12 p.m. also in the same week. There are times when there's a public holiday on Monday and we tend to double up the meetings on Tuesday, but once that's completed and communicated by our communications and the clerk, that would be advertised publicly. In the event of a holiday, I have myself here. The finance committee will be moved to Tuesday as 1 p.m. Following the planning meeting. All meetings take place in the council chambers of the town office. While committee meetings are not televised, just like a public meeting, we invite the public to attend in person, just as you would at our general meetings. Keep you informed, we have updated our events calendar on the town website, which includes a schedule of all committee and public meetings. We have about 23 public meetings per year under the Municipalities Act. Some municipalities, I think it's only 1 per month that's actually required. But a large town like Stephenville, a lot of files, having 23 and meeting twice per month is very, very important. Keep you informed, we have updated, I just mentioned that. Additionally, we are pleased to continue offering virtual attendance for our regular general meetings. And when technology works, it works for the people that are logging in. Please note, however, that this remains optional as long as in-person attendance is available. We look forward to another year of serving you and are happy to accommodate these positive changes that have been brought down by the municipal government. Together, let's continue building a more engaged and connected community. Wishing you all the best in 2025. So I'll probably just turn it over to our CAO just for a little bit of validation on the process, as we are still waiting for some communications in from municipal affairs.
Yes, we're communicating with municipal affairs on a regular basis. There are a number of bylaws that we potentially can pass related to the new act, including a revised rules of procedure. The Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs is preparing circulars that will come out, and of course are coming out gradually, but some of these will be ready very soon to guide us in some of those bylaws that we will produce for council to approve. So our anticipation is that the revised rules of procedure, which are not really big changes, but of course it's up to council to discuss and debate in a committee meeting how they want the rules of procedures to operate for the go forward on the new act. And that'll be one of the items in the next council meeting, and also in the next committee meetings that will be a part of that overall process. So we're looking forward to that, and good communications with municipal and provincial affairs as we go forward and pass these potential bylaws, rules of procedure, and also set in stone how we're going to do things for this year.
So it's our hope, I guess, even some of the circulars from municipal affairs we will receive in the next week, so we can be ready for our first public round of planning and financing.
Yes, yeah. And some of them have been gazetted, but the actual circular from the municipal affairs department hasn't been sent out yet. So we're a little bit ahead of ourselves in trying to get out in front, but it'll be the next meeting before we get it.
And, to have this deferred is, we only had 2 items, so having it deferred for 2 weeks, it's not a big encumbrance on the effects of the municipality. So
yeah,
let's do what's right and what's recommended by municipal affairs. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, right. So I would ask a member of council that would motion to defer items 1 and 2 at the finance committee. So moved by Councilor Tom McBride, second. Second, Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry. Okay.
Is there any other items come from municipal affairs that would affect the public should know of it in the new legislations?
Not really. There are a number of areas when we looked at it in the committee meeting, which really was, because we did hold 2 committee meetings that were not really public. They were public per se, but they weren't advertised. So therefore, so there's 5 general areas, and I really don't think they're going to have a huge impact on how we progress as we go forward. I don't have the list right here in front of me, but those items will be a part of one. The rules of procedure is the one that we will establish a new rules of procedure document associated with the change in the act, and those others are some of them are optional. That they're some are prescribed and some effectively are requirements. So we'll go through each of those in the committee. The staff will make a determination on what to bring forward, and then it'll be brought to the committee next opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay, so item number 8, bylaws, regulation, policies, nothing there, but
Maybe 7.2 you didn't mention at all, so there were no items.
yeah, 7.2, there were no items, so we're going on 8.1. So I guess even in the new year, should the recommendations on rules of procedure be adopted in accordance with municipal affairs or edited, that will be coming as a new policy or bylaw.
No, it would be, I guess, this policy of the town of Stevie.
Okay, a new policy.
And the bylaws, of course, are emanating from the new act as well.
So, item number 9, any unfinished business for any members of council?
Think so.
No unfinished business. How about any new business?
Not really new business. I just wanted to say that the Main Street event was well attended, Christmas event. And I'm sure everybody had a good time. And we had a really good weather for that evening. And it was so lucky because the next day we got all that rain and whatever we got. But most people that I talked to I went later on when the crowd was kind of mostly gone, but still got to go in and go into Ireland and talk to the guys in some of the booths and stuff like that. And I know that all the people that were there had a good time and really enjoyed it as usual. And so, I want to thank the committee that did that, especially, oh my gosh, Marissa, is it Marissa? Yeah, and of course, Candace too, and anybody else. I'm sure there's a lot more people, kinsmen were there. And I don't want to leave anybody out, but everybody that took part, I would really like to thank them because it is a really wonderful thing to be doing at that time of the year. And I think it brings up spirits of people on the way, at the same time. So I just wanted to kind of.
And the communications from it were very good as well. Marilee and
Yeah.
Candace and Marissa, they had some video and there was drone footage and it was doing everything possible to ensure we made our own Hallmark moment.
Yeah, and
Better next year.
yeah, even better next year. Yeah. And on a different note now, I guess on behalf of council, we want to give out our sympathies to Brian Kinsman on the passing of his father in New Brunswick. Yeah.
No.
So yeah.
But no.
Well, I saw it on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and also I would like to make a note that one of the participants that came to our meetings for quite some time was Eddie Jesso, and
Right.
he passed over the Christmas.
Yeah.
So I'd like to make the condolences on our behalf to the family.
He did attend some of our meetings, and I spoke to him the last time he was here, actually.
Yes.
He was talking about the healthcare system, so we
Yeah.
we had a good conversation with Eddie. When I saw it, I was surprised when I saw that he had passed. But I mean, that's it. That's life. You gotta be happy and positive and try to go on as best you can.
Anything else, new business?
So there were a couple of members of council, I think, that were recognized with the 75th anniversary medals in the name of Councillor Hines and Councillor Aylward.
Congratulations.
Yes.
So that was the 75th anniversary medals.
Were you not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't see the release, but I knew it had happened. And
Well,
it's certainly
Minister,
recognition of your long
Wait
service.
for something.
no, he's not a minister.
Okay.
I didn't get the medal from my MHA. Actually, the Minister of Indigenous Affairs, I think he is. Yeah, Minister Scott Reed came to my house,
Yeah.
presented me with the medal, and so I've got the Queen's Jubilee medal anyway. That was presented to me by Bill Matthews years ago, and I appreciated the fact that Minister Scott Reed came to the house and my own MHA saw fit to not include me in the other group. But I got a medal anyway.
So on that note, I'm going to get you to come up to the front and get a photo op. I'd like to present you, Councilor, 30 years of service to municipal affairs. We have a plaque here. So if you wouldn't mind coming forward.
I will. But getting back to the medal, I did say to Minister Reed that of all the volunteering that I've done in 50 years, board of directors of the Cancer Society and this and that and everything else, the one thing that I really think was one of the highlights, my hero, I met Terry Fox in person here in Stephenville. But I also toured the schools in the Port Peninsula and Stephenville with his mother several times. And the people out there really appreciate it. They presented her with pictures and they crocheted things for her and stuff like that. And I did get to meet her and Terry Fox. So to me, that was one of the highlights of all of my volunteering that I've done in 50 years. So I really appreciate that. And so, Mr. Mayor, I'll get that picture taken, and it's 30 years, but I'm into my 32nd year now. So I guess they do it in increments, Bill?
30-year increments.
If you would want to count.
30-year increments, yeah. Another 30 years.
We're gonna count the floor.
Let's see, to hit the 40.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Nevertheless. I will do the picture. Hey, Laura. And I'll try not to blink.
I would say, Councilor Elwood, that it takes a lot of perseverance and a lot of endurance. These 32 years on council, we are very grateful to have you. And I have tagged you as Mr. Thomas Roddick Hospital. Without your efforts on healthcare, I am 100% sure we would not be where we are today. We're a medical facility being built, 24-hour emergency hospital, and a suite of professionals to take care of our residents. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. I should get my phone. I didn't blink, did I?
You want to get your phone?
She said she would send it to me. Promise.
I love
Right now.
it.
That's her. That's what we love.
Thank you. Well, it's been a pleasure to serve the citizens of Stephenville for all these years, and really appreciate the fact that I was elected 8 times, and never once did I come last. Which is pretty good. And, one term that we did, Tom will remember this, Tom O'Brien, he was mayor, I guess you were mayor at the time, Tom, what we did deputy mayor, we each took a turn, remember? Yeah. So we had our turns at deputy mayor as well. So that was good, but, and overall, to say that my first term in 1993, we'd have our meetings when I get off work at 4:30 mostly. Stein was the mayor. And 18 years, I was the only woman on council. Now we have what? Four?
We had 4.
We had
we're down to 3.
We're down to 3. So that means that's good. So hopefully this year, it's a municipal election, we will have a lot of people coming out, and I encourage the young people to come out. Because, we need them. We need them, the young people. They're a lot of them out there that are interested in what's going on in the town. And I believe that our town has come forward fantastic over the last 30 years. And thanks to all the people that were involved, and of course the MHAs that were involved, and the 3 mayors, including, you as well, and Tom O'Brien and Stein, all had their heart and down in Stephenville and did their part to do their work well for the town of Stephenville. So it was a pleasure to be able to serve the town of Stephenville for all these years, and I hope I can do it for the next 4 years. No, for the next few months anyway.
I'm trying to commitment from you there, Councilor.
Taking it at a time. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Councilor Elwood. And I have to agree, we have so much talent in our community. And not that we're aging ourselves, but we don't have any youth representative on council. And it'd be nice to see because the talent in our youth and the energy, we're so proud of them. We see the awards they win and their athletic prowess that they have and their academic scholarships. And sometimes it's nice to have a balance. But you know how the game of politics works is about popularity, and that's so important. But we'll see what happens in 2025 in September. There'll be a lot of voting going on provincially, federally, municipally.
Yeah.
So I'd like to bring up some outstanding, tremendous, valuable work that has been completed by our management team, with vision and drive and support of council. But as we embark on retaining our rich culture, and when we talk about our culture, we're so blessed in Stephenville. The origins of our culture with our indigenous roots, and then the Acadians that were expelled out of Acadia that moved to this area. The O'Quinn's, the bourgeois, my mom was a bourgeois from the Shetty Camp area, arrived here. But the indigenous and the French became very close, and a lot of marriages and partnerships and harmony existed in those two cultures. So as we embark on our rich history, we have unveiled 3 significant murals in our town office representing our indigenous, our French, and our rich American history, termed a friendly invasion. Let's hope it's always going to be termed like that. Just saying. But today we're speaking about new signage that the residents of Stephenville, visitors that will be coming into Stephenville, tourists. Mike Ratter has done tremendous work in our economic development office in getting the appropriate work completed that our signs will become bilingual in the Acadian town of Stephenville. We have our stop signs now that are bilingual with stop arrêt on it. And these are our new signs that will be starting to be installed in early 2025 by our public works. And as Mike and I were speaking earlier, if the no snow 2025 season continues, we might be able to get them up earlier than later. But this is one of our first ones. The first batch will be all streets off of Queen, Main, and West. So Park Avenue. Well, this is the Park Avenue sign. And the note that in the sidebars, left and right of the name, Avenue, Park, MAVE, is that we do have our murals, and on this one it's the French Acadian, and it's our indigenous. So they'll start going up. It'll be phased in. We have received grants from the provincial government to assist us with the costs, but it's going to be a new signage. And we do have a lot of tourists from Quebec that come to the Stephenville area, primarily because of the rich French culture that exists on the Port-au-Port Peninsula. So once they enter Stephenville and they start seeing these signs, it kind of connects, because in Canada we are a bilingual country, and it is in our constitution we have the right, if we want, anybody can learn to speak French. So it is who we are, and it's what defines us. So on behalf of myself, and I'm sure council is so pleased, but thanks to management, Mike Gratter, all of our team, Public Works, who's going to put them up, and I'm sure feel very proud about doing that. So on that note, thank you, Mike, and thanks council, and thank you to management. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, we still are in the calendar to have that meeting with Western Health that they requested on the 17th.
17th of February, yes.
10 o'clock in the morning. February?
Is it February?
January at noon. So I would encourage, as many councillors can attend, try and attend. because it's going to be, I'm anxious to see, you know, what's on their mind and what's going on. We will get updates from them as well to the recruitment side of it and the situation of the obstetrics coming back to this hospital, because the money's still there. The funding is still there for that service. And there's not enough, like our stats prove that we have enough deliveries to warrant it. But anyway, that's just some of the things which I think because the first time ever they're gonna have OB gynecologist online, virtual. She's never ever been online at any meetings that I've had with them. So there must be kind of hearing some things that are going on, right?
And I think that's indicative for the work that we've done leading up to this meeting, because we have talked about the pending growth of Stephenville. Remember, 2025, we're anticipating final investment decision from World Energy, probably final investment decision on Atlas Salt, signature investments in this area. What that will do will bring in young families, create permanent sustainable jobs. That's going to increase your birth rate. So right now, just our numbers alone sustains and qualifies us no different than Grand Falls and Gander. It equates with our numbers. So the work we have done leading up to this meeting, and as we get final investment decision and we start to grow as a community, it takes time to plan, get resources, attract, recruit, and get gynecology in place so that our obstetric suite can be reopened. Now, it was designed and the layout is there. It still exists in the Sir Thomas Roddick Hospital. So that's really good news. And like I said, I want to thank you, Laura, for your role in pushing. Mike has done some statistical analysis for us on that. So we've done our homework. Now we got to push. And we pushed to get a new medical clinic. That new medical clinic would not be built or being built if this council did not push.
That's true. And the other thing is people, there's a lot of, I get calls from different people every other day, and wait times and so on. And the thing is, there is a navigator that people can call. I have the phone number. Anybody that wants to call can call me at home because I've had calls about delays in surgery and stuff like that. So one person, retired nurse actually, wrote a letter to powers that be. She sent it to 3 different people and never ever got a response. So that's the kind of thing that really irks me, when you have people out there that don't get an answer. Like when I'm not in council anymore and I'm vice chair of the Healthcare Action Committee, as a councillor, you have a little bit more, not power, but a little bit more push than you do if you're just a citizen with a problem. And I've encountered many problems, people with cancer that went through the cracks, their referral form never got sent in. And if there wasn't, they'd phone me and I'd give them the number to the nurse navigator for cancer patients. All those things, people don't know, that are not aware that these people are in the mix and can help them out. And as soon as we got the person involved with the nurse navigator, they were seen. They found that the referral hadn't gone to the doctor's office, stuff like that. So there's a lot of issues up there. Nevertheless, bad enough that we don't have obstetrics, so on, but we do have a brand new CT scan, and we have the mammogram machine, which is another one, and all these ultrasound equipment. We have the best equipment and all that stuff here, and we have the service for the ophthalmologist to be coming out to do cataracts. And they could come out, and they used to come out. but they don't anymore. And they're supposed to be coming out because we, the taxpayers, are paying
We'll get there.
for that service here.
We'll get there.
So, Tom, that's, you know what it's like. You were on the board years, right?
Yep, we'll get there.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of a spiel, I guess, for today, but, yeah.
The last thing I want to mention, very signature day, condolences, I guess, to the Carter family, is the state funeral today for
Right.
President Carter.
Yeah.
Lived to be 100 years old, a centurion. And President Carter was in Stephenville. And I think it was 1992, not 1995. But he was on a humanitarian mission into Africa. And it was in October. And as anybody knows, I love wetlands. And in the fall of the year, the lichens are flaming red. And on the approach into runway 27, the aircraft was coming in and they were flaming red. And President Carter left a note in our guest book. And he had said, he had received a lot of red carpets as the president, but never have he received a red carpet that he received flying into Stephenville that day. He was just amazed. And, he done some great work. He, governor of his state, peanut farmer, came from very humble beginnings and became one of the most powerful leaders in the world. And continued his legacy in humanitarian work.
He went back to those humble beginnings too.
Yes, he certainly did.
He went back to the community. Yep.
Very small town.
Yeah. And Stephenville had many presidents in here. Back in the 1950s, President Eisenhower was in Stephenville. We had President Clinton in Stephenville. I remember him walking up to his corporate jet on some type of trade, because after you finish your presidency, you have a big role to play in humanitarian and so forth. And I remember he took one of the leather hats with CYJT and put it on and walked up to his airplane.
Who was that?
President Clinton.
Oh, President Clinton. Yeah.
But, back, I think it was in the 1950s or early 60s, there was a world head of state visit in Stephenville. I'd love to do a research to find out exactly what it was, what the agenda was, who was here. But I think Nixon was the head of state, wasn't the president at the time. But, so today, I just say it's such a big day, and we were very lucky to have President Carter as the president and to continue his role as a humanitarian.
I watched an interview that you done with President Carter, and one of the questions was something along the lines. Sorry, along the lines of what was your biggest what you took away from the presidency? And he basically said, biggest thing he was thankful for the presidency is to give him a position and the influence to do what he done in the 43 years after his presidency.
Yeah.
I mean, his humanitarian efforts, building homes and all that stuff, because he done a tremendous amount of work. I mean, if you listen to all the interviews and all that he was involved in, it's amazing what he done after the presidency. I mean, but he said that was the biggest thing he took away, was that it put him in a position to do all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
And he done it. Him and his wife.
Oh,
Can't forget his wife.
Yeah, that's true.
She very much so.
Yeah.
She was a big driver as well.
Yeah.
so on that note, I'd like to wish everybody the very best in 2025. We will work and endeavor to do what we can for the best interests of our community, citizens. I want to wish everybody a happy new year. And on that note, I'm looking for notice to adjourn the meeting here. Councillor Tom O'Brien.
Second. Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
You heard him also starting to move.
Yeah.